to start with questions, so if you wouldn't mind saying your name and affiliation, we'll start with Vinny over here on the left.
With the Review Journal. Welcome to Las Vegas. I know it's been less than 24 hours, but what have the last 24 hours been like? And do you give yourself a little bit of time to sort of appreciate the moment before throwing yourself back into work?
Yeah, excited to be here, but yeah, it's been a pretty crazy 24 hours. Not much sleep, but just a lot of excitement, celebrating with my family, and last night I was pretty much up the whole night, just thinking about what a great honor it is to be a Raider.
Hondo Carpenter with SI Ashton. The tape tells everyone about your physical talent and ability and where you pick. But the two men sitting next to you have put a lot of emphasis on character. You've described yourself as a Christian hiding in a disguise of a two-time All-American. How much is faith a part of who you are as a man?
It's everything, and that's what I've been rooted in. That's what's helped me get to where I'm at this point, and I'm just thankful for that relationship with the man upstairs because it's given me so many opportunities.
Levi Damien, USA Today. Last night, your coach had mentioned that Marshawn Lynch was kind of blowing up his phone. How excited he was that they drafted you. What does it mean to you that somebody like Marshawn is that excited that you're coming to the Raiders, and have you had a chance to maybe speak with him since?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've always been a fan of Marshawn. He's one of the first running backs that I watched. So to kind of have that support and him showing love it's everything.
Sean Futrell, Vegas Sports Today. To that point, Barry Sanders, who you finished college making history alongside him, he said on his social media he can't wait to watch you in the NFL. Barry's not a guy that talks a whole lot. Just what do you think of Barry coming out and saying something like that?
Yeah, he's just a great guy. I've got to meet him in person a few times, and that just shows his character, shows how much he loves the game of football, and obviously the support of young guys in the game right now is great.
Yeah, Ashton, this is Tashawn Reed from The Athletic. I know that you didn't really play running back full time to your senior year of high school. What went into making a decision to play running back, and how have you learned it so quickly to be as good as you are right now?
Yeah, I felt I always had a natural ability to break tackles, make guys miss, and that was the first position I started off playing. It was just the way it happened when I moved to Texas. We already had a lot of great guys at the position, so I kind of had to wait my turn. But I always practiced, and I knew once the time came, I'd become one of the best.
Excuse me, Ashton, Ryan McFadden from ESPN. There's so much talk about your vision on the field and the way you can break tackles, but one thing to me that I think is underrated is your pass catching ability. How do you think that will be able to translate to the NFL, and how do you think that will be able to help the Raiders moving forward?
Yeah, I think it'll translate very well. I don't know how much you plan to have me in the passing attack, but yeah, I think it would be a great opportunities for me to catch the ball at the backfield and be an asset to this offense and just show off my versatility.
Levi Edwards, Las Vegas Raiders. Notably, you decided to stay at Boise State when there's a lot of people coming at you, and you talked about how much you were developed there in that program. What's the biggest thing you can say that you took from being a Boise State Bronco that you believe can help you as a Raider?
Just the hard work, discipline, doing the things that nobody else wants to do. And that's what we did each and every single day there. And, it's paid off, and it's, helped me grow into the young man that I am today.
Ashton, Case Kiefer from Las Vegas Sun, kind of playing off that. You had the season you had 2 years ago, and you became kind of a national phenomenon. I know opponents were tailoring their whole game plan towards slowing you down. You still had an even better year. What went into that to being able to have that production when you really became a focus, and what lessons from that can you carry into the NFL?
Yeah, just taking my preparation to the next level, right? Preparing for, what defensive attacks we're going to get, how we're going to attack them as an offense. And I think most importantly, taking care of my body, right? Just being available, to, take 30 carries, each and every week. And understanding that, it's me versus 11, Once the ball snaps, there's 11 guys coming after me. So just having that mentality that nobody's going to take me down.
Nick
Walters, Channel 13. Ashton, you said before the draft that you thought that the guy sitting next to you would view you as a fit for the culture they're trying to build. How do you view yourself as a fit to what these guys are trying to build in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I think, the most important thing they said to me, I asked them what's their, values as a team, and they said they're looking for the right people. They're looking for great people along with great players, and, I think my personality fits that, and, the character will go a lot longer than anything that I do on the football field.
Ashton, great saying Las Vegas Review Journal just do that. You already spoke with Max Crosby. What was his message to you, and have you had a chance to speak with any other of the teammates yet?
Yeah, just super excited, ready to go. We got a little partnership with Sack, so I kind of already been in talks with him, and, he just congratulated me and, said how he's ready to go to work with me.
Out of Las Vegas Review Journal, one of your new teammates who I'm sure you'll get to know very well, Jackson Powers Johnson, he said that you run like you're angry at the turf. I guess, what do you think about that, that statement, and I guess how would you describe how you play?
I think that's a great description. I've got so many different ways to describe that I run, but I think my favorite, somebody said that, I was a rolling ball of knives.
Ashton, your new head coach is considered one of the best evaluators of running backs in all of football. So when he picks you, what does that mean to you personally?
I put a lot of hard work and dedication into the game of football, and, I think he's seen that, throughout my career, and, obviously he's had a lot of great running backs, and, he sees the next great one in me.
Ashton, when you lived overseas, you weren't exposed maybe as much to American football. What fuels your love of the game?
I think most important, I think relationships, like all the people that I've been able to meet and, build connections with, and, had I not been playing football, I don't think that would be the same.
You're one of the most productive running backs in college football history, now in the NFL. What are your expectations in the pro level?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'll get 2,600 yards again right off the rip, but definitely to, just be a great asset to this team, a great teammate, and just help bring wins home each and every week.
Actually, it's a different time in college football with the NIL and the transfer portal. I'm sure you probably felt that a little bit in terms of coming off your 2 years ago, going into this 2024. What made you stay at Boise State when others have taken the opportunity to go make some money in NIL?
Yeah, from the first day I stepped foot on campus, I had the goal of, developing into a great running back, sitting right here, being a national football player now, and I think most importantly is just to, leave something behind, that could last forever, that legacy, and, you might go somewhere else for another year, make some more money, and, that's kind of out the door, and I think you can't put a price tag on that, it's invaluable.
Ashton, Taylor wrote to Channel 13, how did growing up in a military family shape you as a person and as a football player?
Yeah, it shaped me really well. Talk about discipline and handling adversity, always dealing with change, having to do things on the fly. And, I think that, it's kind of a lot like football, there's always going to be things that don't go your way. You're always going to have to change something in the game. And it's really helped me grow into the man I am today.
Ashton Zeke, Trezevan, SI, you spoke a little bit earlier about how you can't put a price tag on loyalty. How excited are you to play in front of and for the Raider fans and Raider Nation?
I'm super excited. I'm already loving this fan base, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You might get another nickname like Beast Mode, but you've gone by Deuce for a while. It's even in your Twitter handle, even your Zoom name last night. How did that name come about?
Yeah, so, I was born on December 2nd, so that's the day greatness was born. But also, all my family, my older brother, uncle, it's kind of like the family number. So that's really the main reason why I wear number 2.
Actually, I know a lot of new faces around here, but last year, running back here was another Boise State guy with really good character, and Alexander Madison. I know you have spoken a lot to him. What has he told you about just Vegas and Raiders fans and that sort of thing, and been able to talk to him since you?
Yeah, great community, great fan base. You know, a lot of fun to play here, and you know it's a different level of pride to wear the silver and black.
I know you got mom and dad here. Can you talk a little bit about what they've meant to your journey?
Yeah, they've meant a lot. You know, having that support system behind you, no matter what, whether things are going good or bad, and just somebody you can talk to about anything, go to with your problems, and obviously, here supporting me through the whole process. It's been amazing to have them.
Harry Ruiz with the Spanish radio broadcast. Talk about the responsibility of being not only a first round pick, but being a top 6 pick in the NFL. How are you going to take that?
Yeah, it's a privilege, to be in this space and to be a first round pick, and that's what I've worked to do, and I'm excited for that. I want that type of pressure on me and that type of expectation, and I'm just ready to go to work and prove why they took a chance on me.
Ashton, I know it's been less than 24 hours, but you're now on a roster with Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. There's a ton of talent here. How much does that almost make you better that teams aren't going to be able to just assume it's always Ashton?
Yeah, that's real exciting, to have, other guys who can, attack defenses down the field, great quarterback and receivers, tight end. So it's just going to make a all-around great offense.
In your mind, was it the Raiders all along?
Yeah, once I seen the statement about Spike Tech's son, I knew it was gonna happen. There's no way. Got to keep the family together.
Jack, we'll be providing no more statements going forward. No more. We're gonna shut him up.
Ashton, you lived all around the world, but now you're about to move to the desert. So what's your mindset, just kind of adjusting to Las Vegas?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess probably gonna have to start wearing some sunscreen now or something, once it gets hot. But I came out here from Mountain West Media Day, and I think it was the hottest day ever. But I think I'll be all right.
Are you guys all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ashton.
Yeah.